What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 10-7 MMA show. And we are back this Monday following a crazy UFC London card. And we're going to be talking about what's up and coming for the UFC as well. Just want to get the show started. Justin will be joining very shortly. But I thought we could start at the top of the show, just talking about last weekend with some crazy performances. So just to begin, we're going to start right off the gate with this Sean Brady victory, which was very dominant. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this performance. And I really want to hear Justin when he joins to just hear, what his thoughts are about Sean Brady. But I'll say when I was watching the fight, again, me and Justin, I think we both picked Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards was talking a big game. He was talking all week about how if he had to rematch Bilal, he would beat him 10 out of 10 times, and that was a bit of a fluke loss. I know he made a big point about the time being off and throwing him off, that he had to fight early in the morning at the last fight, and that was one of the reasons why he just wasn't himself. Well, he comes in to fight another wrestle-heavy style, very similar to Bilal, actually. And this was going to be the perfect opportunity to prove everybody wrong, to let people know, hey, that was a fluke. I can beat this style, no problem. And man, he came in, and what's up, Salim? He comes into this fight with all of that on his back, and he did come out strong. He came out strong in that first round. In the first couple minutes, he was throwing a lot of strikes, fighting very aggressively. But man, Sean Brady at the end of the day was just way too much. And I threw this out to MMA Joey over the weekend, saying that, man, I think if Sean Brady fights Bilal again, I think Sean Brady might get him. And Joey said he even though he's a big fan of Bilal, he actually conceded that could be. And let's talk about some of the things that we noticed. First of all, Sean Brady, it seems like, has made major improvements. His striking looks really good. And I think that's one of the most notable things. That's come a long way. His striking was fast. It was crisp. I think it appears to me as though there might be a little bit of a speed advantage that Sean has over Bilal. I think Sean, let me double check how old he is. I want to say he's only, let me see. Yeah, he's only 32. He's so young. Bilal's still relatively young as well. Bilal is 36, but Sean Brady is only 32. So I think he is going to have speed advantages over Bilal in general, but he looked really quick. His striking was terrific. But that wrestling, holy smokes, like he smothered Leon Edwards, and he kept taking him down. And not only that, I think the difference between Bilal and Sean Brady in terms of their performance against Leon, Sean Brady was laying on the ground and pound, it was just a constant barrage. Kind of reminded me of Habib back in the day, just no end to the ground and pound. It wasn't just holding him down, wasn't trying to necessarily get a submission, but just pounding. I think the ref called him out occasionally, multiple times, to just say, watch for the back of the head. But in Sean Brady's defense, it wasn't like a Michael Chandler performance. It was Sean Brady trying to connect with the side of the head, with the ears, with the front of the head to the best of his ability. Leon was moving his head around. So any of those shots to the back of the head were inadvertent and probably the result of Leon moving his head. And that's why, sometimes that's going to happen. Those are going to connect. Those shouldn't be called for any sort of penalties or fouls, in my opinion. But Sean Brady's intent was definitely not to hit the back of the head. But anyways, he laid it on thick. And then the craziest thing is his signature move. He finishes Leon Edwards with that signature move, which is a one-arm guillotine. I mean, who is getting guillotines nowadays in the UFC? They're so rare, because I think defense against guillotines have gotten so much better over time. But yet Sean Brady is like getting these lying down one-arm guillotine chokes. Finishes Leon Edwards. Okay, let me look at Leon Edwards' record. We were people were talking about this as well. When is the last time he has been finished? I mean, first of all, he hadn't lost in like 11 fights or something crazy. Here, we're going to open up his record really quickly here. Let's check this out. So let's take a look. Leon Edwards. All right, he's had all these victories, but even when he lost to Kamaru Usman, that was a decision. Before that decision, holy smokes. Let's see, when's the last time he was ever finished? Oh my God, wait, this is crazy. He's never been finished. At least not as a professional. Wait, hold on one second. Let me double check this. I did not know this. I mean, I heard everybody was saying it was such a long time, but yeah, wait, I don't even know if they have amateur fights on here. Holy smokes, he had never been finished. And not only did he get finished, he got finished by a guillotine choke. That's crazy. So anyways, I feel like this fight was a really big deal. The fact that Sean Brady not only got this win, I think this is majorly vindicating for him after that. Sean Brady, by the way, he's undefeated except for one loss to who? To Bilal Muhammad. And so it's just very, very interesting in the division with everything that's going on. You got Shavkat, you got Ian Gary. I'm going to go to the rankings in a second because this division I feel like is out of control. Louisa, somebody's at the door, by the way. Louisa, yeah. Somebody's at the door. But anyways, yeah, like this is just so wild. Everything that's been going on within this division. Sean Brady comes out with this incredible performance, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool. But massive props to Sean Brady. I almost think he can kind of sneak in ahead of Shavkat in terms of a title shot. I don't know. Shavkat has been injured. He's been out. Bilal's not fighting JDM. I don't know. It's very crazy. Okay, let's take a look at the rankings really quickly. Hoping that Justin is still going to pop on pretty soon here. But let's take a look at the rankings because I want to talk about the state of the welterweight division. This might be one of the most exciting divisions in the UFC right now. So check this out. So look at this. We had Leon Edwards. He just lost, right? Ranked number 1. Where's he going to drop to? 3, 4, 5? Who knows? What would be a good fight for Leon? We'll talk about that in a second. But then we also have Joaquin Buckley, who everybody was saying, hey, maybe he's a title contender after that very dominant victory over Colby Covington. Even Ian Machado Gary, who's ranked 7th and lost his last fight to Rachmanov, he came in on a short notice fight. He wasn't supposed to take that fight. He did the UFC a solid. He was supposed to fight like a week later, a month, whatever it was later. Came in, did the UFC a solid. So he's kind of still in the mix, still in the running. Sean Brady, as I mentioned, he might jump up to number 1 or 2 in that spot. We got Jack Della Maddalena, but he's about to fight Bilal Muhammad for the title. And then we still have Kamaru Usman waiting in the wings. I think Colby is now definitely out of title contention talk. Somebody was saying a good fight next for Leon Edwards. I think people were saying maybe, I don't know, did somebody say Jeff Neal? I can't remember. I don't know what a good fight for Leon is. I actually think I'd love to see Leon versus Ian Machado Gary. They have a history. Ian's trying to come up. Leon will still be in the top 5. Why not match those two up? It'll be striker against striker, and then Leon doesn't have to. I mean, all Leon's been fighting is wrestlers. Think about it. Kamaru Usman twice. Colby Covington, now Sean Brady. Colby Covington, Bilal, now Sean Brady. That's 5 in a row, all wrestlers. So let's get Leon out of that. But yeah, who's going to be next after Bilal Muhammad fights Jack Della Maddalena? Who's going to be up there next? I don't know. It's crazy. And I think Kamaru Usman still got it in him. I think he's still a tremendous fighter and can be a massive threat. All right. Leon versus Ian. Anyone Western says, yeah, you read my mind. Just saw that comment. But yeah, 100%. MGal for production says Sean Brady beat the F out of him. Dude, it was domination. He was straight bullied, as MMA Guru said. So that was crazy. MGal for Productions also says Ulberg, Jan. Okay, we're going to talk about that as well. I think that was generally, I think for a lot of people, a disappointing fight. However, I found it quite tactical and strategic. I still enjoyed the fight and was very curious to see how it was going to unfold. I think the thing that's most unsettling about a fight like Jan versus Ulberg is when it's that close and then you end up with this really close decision. It just feels so unsatisfying because you hear MMA Guru or other folks being like, yeah, I kind of scored it for Jan. Other folks scored it for Ulberg. So I think as a fan, you guys tell me if you agree or disagree, but these close decisions are some of the most frustrating things in the sport. Let me also say something. Tell me if you guys agree with me on this. I find it really annoying when people after the fact will come out and say, we'll talk about robberies or say how this is unfair. Oh my God, he should have gotten the victory because I scored it this way. Everybody scored it this way. Let me make something very clear. We have a scoring criteria. And however, the question at the end of a fight in terms of who won is not about going back to the scoring criteria and reanalyzing the fight, slowing it down like what the Weasel does, which mad props him. I think his videos are great when he does this. But that is not the question, and that is not the determination of the true victor. The way it works in a fight, the rules are as follows. It's not specifically about an objective viewpoint of the rule set and points and whatnot in terms of determining in a fight. The way these fights are set up is we have given full authority to 3 judges, and we care about the decision of those 3 judges, for better or for worse, but that's how the sport has been defined. So there's no saying the judges got it wrong and the judges got it right. Those are the judges that have been elected by the commission. They are there, and we have given full authority over to them. It's not about going back after the fact and reviewing the footage and saying who won based on points, based on strikes and this and that. It's in the moment. That's the way the sport is. So we have to live with the decision, and there's no turning back. That's it, for better or for worse. So to me, all this talk about when we go back and say, no, but this guy should have won because of this, or this guy should have won because of that, it's all pointless. It's all about what the judges decide, for better or for worse. And if people have a problem with that, they need to improve the judge training. They need to improve the pool from which they choose judges, etc. But that's just my personal stance. Let me know what you think. We got a couple more comments. Oh, MGAL4 Productions talks about Kevin dropping Gunner in round 1. That was crazy. Ali Dolly, a new name. Not sure if I recognize. So welcome to the show if you are a new watcher. Off topic, about how do you think Prime Anderson Silva and Dricus would go? I'm the wrong guy to ask you. I wish Justin was on here. Louisa, can you text Justin or call him? Yeah, hopefully Justin can really answer that much better. I'd have to my guess is Anderson Silva. He's just such a technical striker. But then again, Dricus is a more well-rounded fighter. I don't know. Very, very good question. And then Ali also says, Dricus looks like he's about to. I know. It's crazy. I made a video talking about Dricus, and I asked the question, hey, is Dricus actually good or not? And people got very upset. A lot of people from South Africa are still commenting and perplexed as to how I could even ask that question. The only reason why I asked the question is because of the way he looks, but moreover, because of what other fighters, professional fighters in the UFC say about his style. Say, oh, Dricus is actually not very good at all. We don't understand how he's winning. He just confuses people because he's so bad. And obviously he can't be that bad. You can't really even say he's bad, right? Obviously he's the champion, and he's beaten Izzy. He's beaten Sean Strickland twice. He's beaten Robert Whittaker. To say he's bad is crazy, but I was just throwing that out there because that's what throwing that out there as a topic for a video, because that's what all these other fighters are saying. So it is what it is. But anyways, yeah, it looks so strange, but he's just killing it in the game. So yeah, it's very fascinating. Love that Dricus is in the UFC, and I love that he's prompting people to ask these questions and rethink the sport. So it's really cool. Big Ank MMA says, what's up? So you're Uncle Live fan, I take it. Ulberg versus Jiri Next. Jan versus Rakic 2. Ooh, I'd love to see Jan versus Rakic again. I think people are saying that Ulberg versus Jiri would make a lot of sense. Big Ankh says, I hope Holland stays at 170. Yes, we're going to talk about that. He has to stay at 170. In fact, the video we did yesterday about Kevin Holland being back, that was one of the things that I meant to say, and I forgot to say it. And Andrew Nance says, LFG, let's effing go. Heck yeah, Andrew Nance is back in the mix. But anyways, all right. So coming back to this crazy welterweight division and this amazing victory that Sean Brady had gotten, who does Sean Brady fight next? Who should he go up against next, right? He's beaten Leon Edwards. He's beaten the number 1. I think somebody was saying, I think on Ariel Helwani's show earlier today, they want to see Sean Brady against Shavkat. I could see that. But I also wouldn't be upset whatsoever if Sean Brady takes the winner of Bilal. It's just weird. It's just so cluttered at the top. If he fights the winner of Bilal versus Jack Maddalena, depending on timing and whatnot, Sean against Kamaru Usman would also be kind of interesting. Yeah, basically, Sean's got to get Kamaru or Shavkat or the title shot. One of those 3. He's in the mix. He's incredible. What a victory against Leon. First guy to finish Leon, period. So that's crazy. Okay. Let's move it on to topic number 2. We got a couple more comments. Buckley wants that fight. Brady versus Buckley. I heard somebody else saying that, but why? It's just like, why does, not saying it wouldn't be a fun fight. It'd be a great fight, but why should Brady have to take that fight? He just beat Leon Edwards, former champ, who was undefeated for a very long time until Bilal beat him. I feel like that's just not fair to Brady. That being said, if he wants to take it, I think that's a great fight and it would be a really fun fight. I'm curious to see how it goes. I think Brady beats Buckley, but yeah, that's my 2 cents. Buckley, of course, Buckley wants that fight. Of course, Buckley wants it. Or why not Buckley against Kamaru Usman? That could be a good fight too. Free Kane. Oh God, Kane sentenced at 4:30 today, or was already sentenced. Okay, I have not heard that. I'll have to check that out. Let me know, Andrew. Did that sentence already go down? If so, what was it? How many years did he get? Or is he on house arrest? I'd be curious to know. Man, what a crazy situation. Okay, let's keep it moving to topic number 2: Carlos Ulberg versus Jiri Next. But why are we talking about this? Because of the fight over this weekend against Jan Blachowicz. People were disappointed in this fight. There was a couple things that people were wondering about. Okay, so first of all, Jan Blachowicz, I think he shot one takedown in round 3, and it was a failed takedown. So the first question that people were asking is, why did Jan not mix it up more, especially against Carlos Ulberg? So I have some theories on this, and I'd love to know your guys' thoughts as well. MGal4 Production says Brady would kill Ian Gary. I don't know. Ian Gary's just a strange one. He's so tall. He's long. He's got really strong strikes, really strong striking, phenomenal striking. His jiu-jitsu, he's been working on that a lot. I don't know. And Ian Gary's a very smart fighter too. So that's a strange one. But anyways, looking at the fight, so why didn't Jan shoot more takedowns? Maybe that was his game plan. Maybe he thought he could take Carlos down in a strategic kind of like point fighting, tactical striking battle. And he almost did. A lot of people, like I said, thought that Jan was going to get the decision. He didn't. It was a very close fight though. But I also wonder too, because Jan was coming off major injuries, and not only injuries, he was coming off double shoulder surgery, all these other things. So you always wonder when somebody has that long of a layoff and these intense surgeries, are they compromised? Are they able to shoot takedowns? Are they able to come in and do what they could do previously? So maybe he was compromised in those positions, and maybe that's why we didn't see what a lot of people expected out of Jan Blachowicz. But regardless, Carlos Ulberg comes out with the win. Now, in the light heavyweight division, what's also very interesting about Carlos is he's got a very long streak, not only for the UFC in general, but for light heavyweight specifically. He's on an 8-fight win streak, massive win streak. So what's next for Carlos? Well, we could reasonably say that Carlos Ulberg should get the title shot next. Of course, that's not going to happen because we have a rematch, Big Ankh, unless for some reason Alex Pereira turns that rematch down or whatever. But like that rematch is happening. So what's Carlos Ulberg going to do next? Yuri's on the sidelines. He's waiting for a fight. Let's match them up. MMA Guru talked about this in what's next for all these fighters after these fights over the weekend, and I thought this was a brilliant call and a great fight. I'd love to see Jiri fight Carlos Ulberg next. The other cool thing is, first of all, Carlos is on this massive undefeated streak, 8 fights in a row. Now, if Jiri beats him, no questions asked, we could easily justify Jiri getting in there and fighting, even if it's Alex Pereira who gets the victory in that rematch. We could easily justify Jiri going in there and getting that fight next, which would be so fun because everybody loves Jiri and he's one of the most fun fighters to watch. If Carlos wins, same thing. Carlos is going to be the next title contender. No ifs, ands, or buts. So I think this was a cool outcome for the division. I'd love to see what Carlos can do. Bummer from the perspective of what's next for Jan, because Jan still looks very, very, very good and still looks very dangerous in the division. I don't know what's next for him. He's 42. Does this mean this might be it? Does this mean he's still going to come back and try one more time? I don't know. In an interview with Ariel, he said the reason why he wanted to come back was just because he loves to fight. He loves this sport and he wants to be here. So maybe he continues on. Maybe he'll have another fight or two. Whatever it is, we wish the best for him. But let's go. Carlos Ulberg versus Jiri Next. That's what I think most people want to see. We got a couple comments. Let's check them out. Wait. Nance, you said what time zone? EST. That's now. So the sentencing is happening now. So guys, let me know in the chat if anybody is watching the sentencing live. If the results come down, let me know. Put the post in the chat and we'll talk about it. Ulberg on an 8-fight streak is crazy. Yeah, especially in the light heavyweight division. Big Ankh MMA, you must be a, let us know. Is Ankh Alive your favorite fighter? I'm assuming so. Izzy must be helping Ulberg a lot with how he fights smart. Oh, yeah. And we also have Hill versus Roundtree. That fight's going to be crazy. I wonder what's going to happen there. Light heavyweight is also pretty crazy. All right, Andrew Nance says, yes, the sentencing is happening now, so we shall see. By the way, guys, If you haven't done so yet, if you could click like for the live stream, we'd really, really appreciate it. All the likes and all the engagement goes a long way. We're trying to build the channel and grow and grow and grow. So any help on that front would be awesome. All right, let's keep it going. To my favorite fight on the card, Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson. And Kevin Holland comes away victorious. So we made a video, Justin and I together yesterday. We posted it saying Kevin Holland is back. It's only gotten like 40 views. I thought it was a good video, but it's really, really promising. So let's talk about this Kevin Holland fight. And guys, if you guys have comments, make sure to post them. Lane says hello. What's up, Lane? Welcome back to the stream. Andrew Nance says Ariel was talking about the Kane sentencing. Oh, at 4. Okay, very interesting. Whoa, MGAL4 Production says Hill getting knocked out 3 times. You think Hill's going to get knocked out? He could. I don't know. That's going to be a great fight. Western says, oi, welcome, welcome. MGAL4 Production says Kevin effed up Gunnar for sure. And we're going to talk about that right now. Big Ankh MMA says, yes, he's been my favorite fighter for a long time. I was mad when he had that draw, but at least he redeemed himself. That draw was crazy. Because remember, even Jan Blachowicz was like, hey, give the title to Big Ankh. You know, I think that's where Ankalaev's troubles with the UFC started, in my opinion. I made a video about it, how the UFC hates Ankalaev, and I think it's because of his comments afterwards where he said, this is ridiculous. I don't even know if I'm ever going to fight for this organization in the future. He kind of badmouthed the organization, and I think that's a no-no. I mean, we all know that for the UFC, so I think that kind of put a strain on the relationship. I think that's why they made him fight during Ramadan. That's my opinion. I mean, if they were at least neutral, or if they wanted Ankalaev to win, do you think they would have scheduled the fight during Ramadan? I don't think so. I don't think that was very suspicious that they did that. But anyways, so yeah, he has redeemed himself for sure. Okay, now let's talk about this. Should Gunnar retire? I don't know. People were saying he might. Ariel was talking about that this morning because I think Gunnar alluded to the fact that this might be one of his last fights. But we'll talk about that another time. Let's get back to talking about Kevin Holland, because Kevin Holland looked incredible. Now, a couple of takeaways. Number one, he still got it. People who say he's trash and all this stuff, I think that's ridiculous. He's so athletically talented. He's really, really fast. You got to see his speed and his striking. And his takedown defense and grappling is very good. He made the comment, too, that he can grapple pretty well with guys at 170. It's at 185 where he gets overpowered like we saw against RDR. So first takeaway, and this is what I forgot to mention yesterday, I really hope that Kevin Holland from now on stays at 170, because that's where he's a serious threat. That's where he can compete effectively. And I want to see that. I don't want to just see him getting in there and getting a quick payday because he says, hey, if there's a fight at middleweight, I'll fight next week. I hope the UFC says, no, we want you to stick around at welterweight, because I think the UFC and Dana White, I think they really value Kevin Holland. They like Kevin Holland. So yeah, I don't know. I hope they can at least make it clear to him that that's where he belongs and that's where he should stay, because he can be a real threat there. Again, look what's going on right now in the welterweight division. You've got Joaquin Buckley at number 5. Kevin Holland beat Joaquin Buckley. He's beaten him. And now Joaquin Buckley's on this crazy tear. He's a contender at 170. So let's keep Kevin Holland down there. That's number one. Number two, very interesting point that a lot of you guys may have missed. But again, I talked about this in the video yesterday. When Kevin Holland was on the Jackson pod and we had this whole 45-70 debacle where he was like threatening Rampage Jackson, everybody seemed to turn on Kevin Holland. One of the interesting bits in there was that they actually talked about weed and how the fact that Kevin Holland smokes a lot of weed, and he smoked his entire life. And the amount that he smokes is crazy. He was saying he would smoke like 4 or 5 blunts during these NBA 2K sessions after training. And Rampage talked to him and said, yeah, you know, one of the things that I've learned is that really affects your recovery. And Kevin Holland was like, okay, yeah, I believe that, whatever. But I didn't think anything was going to change, because Kevin Holland has been sort of doing the same thing for a long time. He made the comment after this fight, after this victory, that he wanted to go smoke because he hadn't smoked in a very long time, which means he took the advice to heart, which means he was willing to make a massive major change at this point when he's this much of a seasoned fighter. At this age, at 32, he was willing to take a break from something that he's basically, sounds like he's been doing continuously for his entire life. And people may have missed that, but that blew me away because if you're willing to go back and make such a drastic change when you're so used to it, I'm sure it affected his sleep. I'm sure it affected his mood. I'm sure it was a big deal for him. That means he's starting to take this really seriously. And he also made a tweet prior to the fight saying it's time to change things up or get serious or something like that. So I think he's taking it seriously, and I think he wants to get back on the winning column. And that's exciting because no matter what you think about Kevin Holland, I know a lot of people turned on him after the Jackson pod. Even I thought it was cringy. I didn't appreciate the way he talked to Rampage Jackson. I was kind of offended on behalf of Rampage Jackson. But regardless, Kevin Holland is an exciting, fun fighter. He's good for the sport. He's awesome for the sport. And the fact that he might be turning things around and becoming really competitive is exciting. So this is really, really cool. We're going to talk about what's next for Kevin Holland in a second. Let me go through. We got in a lot of comments here, so let me just read through some of these. Kevin versus the Leech would be nice. We got Andrew. I got 45-70. Let's go. Kevin versus the Leech. I think that could be cool. I heard a really, really good suggestion from MMA Guru that I'm going to show in 1 second. Nathaniel Wood. Yeah, Molly retired. We're going to talk about that later. Lane says, so happy for Kevin. Great fight. Yes, let's go. I know MGAL4 Productions, you said you were going to 314. That's awesome. We're going to talk about Molly McCann later if we have time. Can't wait for Patty. Big Ankh says, oh my God, I can't wait for that fight. I cannot wait to see Patty get in there. But anyways, let's talk about what's next for Kevin Holland. We're going to go back to the rankings. Actually, wait, hold on. It's right here. Okay, let's go back to the welterweight rankings. So Kevin Holland, wow, he's out of top 15. That's so crazy. Somebody was saying Neil Magny. Neil Magny. I thought that was a really great would be a really great matchup. Maybe Jeff Neal. Oh, Colby Covington. Yo, that would be amazing. Okay, I nobody said that. What about a fight for Colby? Kevin Holland versus Colby Covington. That would be such a fun fight. They'll talk a bunch of smack. That would be amazing. Are you guys with me on that, or is that crazy? I don't know. Let me know. I don't want to see Kevin go against wrestle heavy style, but I feel like Colby is really slipping away, and I think Kevin could beat him. But let me know what you guys think. But anyways, yeah, a couple different options. I thought Neil Magny made sense. I think Jeff Neal makes sense. A hard hitter would be a fun fight. He's already fought Michael Venom Page. Maybe Vicente Luque. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But either way, yes, Colby, let's go. Oh, my God. Yeah, I just thought of that. I'm going to make a video about that. I want to see Colby Covington versus Kevin Holland next. What a great fight. Let's go. Okay. Somebody said, should Gunnar Nelson retire? As I mentioned, I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know. I didn't think Gunnar Nelson looked bad. I think Gunnar Nelson just got rocked badly at the end of the first round and just never recovered. So I think that definitely affected the rest of his game. But on that basis, I don't know if he should retire based on that. Okay. Let's move on to topic number 4. Tom Aspinall teases a huge announcement. So I don't know if you guys listened to this earlier today on Ariel Helwani show, but Tom Aspinall was on there, and they asked him about his meeting with Hunter Campbell, UFC brass. He was at the UFC London card. He held up a little duck into the camera, alluding to John Jones. He would not say too much, but he said that a big announcement is coming. What do you guys think? I think it's done. I think it's happening. I made a video last Friday, barely got any views, but you guys should check it out, basically saying that the fight is done because Dana White said multiple times on an interview that it's happening, it's done. It's done, but it's not done. Then Tom Aspinall comes out after like a lengthy meeting with these guys. I think it's happening. I think they even have a date. I think everything is set up. I just think that they're waiting for an official signature from John Jones. I bet you that meeting was Tom Aspinall signing the contract. I bet you they got a signature from Tom. I bet. So all it is now they're waiting for John Jones to sign on the dotted line. Maybe they're just working out a couple logistics. Maybe John Jones is just dragging it out. God knows why. Maybe to play mental games, but I think that's where we're at. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this fight is happening? Also, when do you guys think this fight is happening? Yeah, let me know what you guys think. But I think it's happening this summer, too. I think that whole thing about John Jones wanting 6 months, I think that's all cap. I think that they could do this for International Fight Week. That would make sense. It's either there are 3 options that would be amazing for International Fight Week. We got this fight. This would be number 1. Actually, in my opinion, number 2. the number one option that they could have for International Fight Week is Dricus versus Khamzat, in my opinion. Although I think to most people, John Jones versus Tom Aspinall would be a bigger fight and would get more of a buzz. And then the third option is Islam against somebody. Now, I know Islam, people are saying Islam against Ilya. I don't think that fight is happening. I think it's going to be Islam against Gaethje. And I know everybody's going to get upset and they think Gaethje doesn't deserve it and all this stuff, which I've already broken down and explained why I don't see why Gaethje, I think, would be a great fit for the next title shot against Islam. But I guess we shall see. Islam versus Justin. Charles versus Ilya. Okay, Charles versus Ilya would be great. Yes, or Arman versus Ilya. I think that would be a great fight too. I think I like Arman versus Ilya even better. I don't know where Charles will go at that point. But yeah. Big Ankh, did Charles come out and say that recently in an interview? Western, did you just say Dricus versus Khamzat as a co-main event? That's insane. That's insane. Khamzat could not, in his first title shot, he could not be co-main event to anything. That's going to be one of the biggest fights of the year. That's going to be one of the biggest fights in the history of the UFC, in my opinion. People get very upset at me too when I talk so highly about Khamzat and say that I think he's going to steamroll Dricus. We had some comments earlier today, people really disagreeing with that, but we'll see. But that fight is going to be so pivotal. It's either going to establish Dricus as like just unstoppable, or it's going to be the birth of Khamzat Chimaev and his title reign, and what I think will be what I think is going to be the greatest title run of all time. I guess we'll see what happens, but no, that's not going to be co-main. Come on. Sure did. LOL. No, that can't be. Lane says, Tom says he could fight tomorrow, but John needs another 6 months. Yeah, but I don't know. I think that's a little bit of cap. I think John Jones is playing the game and throwing that out there. I don't think he needs 6 months. I think he could be ready by International Fight Week. Well, let's see. But I'll take it in September. That's fine. Yeah, Big Ankh, dude. Obviously, that's a main. No, Western, you could stop. That's ridiculous. Khamzat might be the biggest star the UFC has ever seen. We can't make that a co-main. I'd love it if it was a co-main. I'd love it just because it would be the craziest UFC card ever. John Jones and Khamzat and Dricus, like that'd be wild. I just don't think it's gonna happen. But anyways, what do you guys think? When do you guys think, coming back to Tom Aspinall and this announcement, when do you think they're gonna make it official? Let me know. I think it's coming up. I think in the next week, I think we're gonna hear this is gonna blow the roof off. And in the year that the UFC is renegotiating its license with either ESPN or they're going to go to Netflix, I mean, it's going to happen. They're going to make it happen. It's going to happen. They're going to pay John Jones because it's going to be worth it for the TV rights deal. It's going to happen. Let's go. Okay. Last topic that I wanted to bring up, but we got a couple comments. Hey, Bharat Bra, I think you might be new to the channel, so welcome. DDP wins if Khamzat doesn't take him out in the first. Big fan of both. Okay, I hear people saying this. We're going to get back to the KSI thing in a second. I hear people saying this. Bharat, why do you think that if Khamzat doesn't take him out in the first, that Dricus is going to win? Are you saying this because you think that Khamzat has bad cardio? Because I've talked about this in multiple videos, and I feel like this is an old narrative that is no longer relevant. His cardio, first of all, he was sick when he fought Usman, and he still went 3 rounds and won. Secondly, he got a little bit gassed in the Gilbert Burns fight. That was years ago, and that was at welterweight. Since then, the changes that Khamzat has made to his camp is that he's no longer training in the UAE in this hot weather. He's training in the mountains of Russia, which also increases the oxygenation of his red blood cells. He's also had thyroid surgery, where they removed half of his thyroid and made him way less susceptible to getting sick. So I don't believe these old narratives anymore about his cardio or lack thereof. I don't think it's true anymore. So I don't think it's first round or bust. I think he will get him out in the first round, but I think if he doesn't, I think he's still in the fight. Now, we get into the later rounds, 4 and 5. I don't know. I don't know because Khamzat has never been that deep in a fight. So it's just a legitimate question. It's an unknown thing, but I think that even round 2 or round 3, I think Khamzat is going to get the job done. Now, why? Because Khamzat, his takedown ability, the speed at which he can change levels, combined with his strength, I think is just nothing that anybody has ever dealt with until you deal with Khamzat. Look at Robert Whittaker. Look how ragdolled he was. Is Dricus just on another level with his strength and with his well-rounded skill set? Maybe. And that's why this fight is so fascinating. But I don't think he is. But maybe. And so we'll see. And I really, really hope Khamzat wins because I just think he could be such an awesome and fun superstar in the sport. But if Dricus wins, props to him. And then you have to give it. Well, I know people think I'm not giving Dricus credit. I do give him credit. I think he's awesome. I love Dricus. I want to see him fight, whether it's Khamzat next or anybody next. I hope people recognize that I'm a big fan of Dricus. I just think Khamzat's going to beat him. But if Dricus wins, man, this will shoot him to the moon to beat the ultimate boogeyman in the UFC. It will be crazy. It will be crazy. And I don't think it'll be a case where it'll be like, oh, well, Khamzat just was never that good. I think at this point, Khamzat has established himself after that performance against Robert Whittaker as an extraordinarily dangerous opponent. Even the Weasel said he thinks Khamzat's going to buzzsaw everybody. So Dricus gets that victory, game, set, match. He is cemented as just an absolute superstar. Okay. Yes, rest in peace, Foreman. That was crazy. I saw that they dedicated the UFC London card to George Foreman. You're not convinced that that's the announcement. You're talking about John Jones versus Aspinall. Very interesting. Okay, Barat responded to me. He says, not because of cardio, but the output in the first round depletes him too much, where DDP just pushes through. You do agree with my cardio point. Awesome. Yeah, it does. Okay, I could see that. It does depend on his strategy, and he does kind of put the pedal to him. I guess I kind of agree. With you from that standpoint. Yeah. I'll put it like this. I definitely agree that in rounds 4 and 5, we're going to get into some weird situations. If Khamzat doesn't put him out by rounds 4 and 5, and he's in there, even if he's up 3-0, and then it's going to be weird. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. Also, I mean, like, look, when you have fast twitch muscle fibers like that, where you have that speed and that power, your cardio is going to get drained. That's just the trade-off. We saw that with Conor McGregor and with many, many other fighters like that. That's usually the trade-off. You just can't have both. So I guess we'll see. But my belief is within 2 rounds, Khamzat's going to get him out of there. Actually, I think he's going to beat him in the first round. I think it's going to be fast. It's going to look crazy. People are going to be blown away. And as the Weasel said, then people are going to start questioning Dricus and be like, wait a minute, he said that people are going to say, oh, was the middleweight division ever that good? Once Khamzat gets in there, dominates, and stays at the top. I think that's what's going to happen. Do you guys respect the Weasel? Because I do. But I know a lot of folks are turning on him, it seems like. But when I saw the Weasel say that made me feel really, really confident. Andrew Nance says, Justin, are you asking who my co-host is? Justin James? Yeah, I don't know. He has not responded, and I think maybe he fell asleep or something. He's on vacation right now, so I'm not sure what he's doing. Barat says DDP is very difficult in the later rounds with the narrative I predicted, I think. Yeah, I mean, look, of course DDP is an animal. Don't get it twisted. He's undefeated in the UFC. He is tough as they come. He is smart as they come. So I am not, when I say that I believe Khamzat smokes him in round 1, that is not because DDP is not I know people are going to give me crap because of the video I made about DDP. That was just me. I don't know. Look, DDP gets results. DDP is very, 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 very good. I was just showcasing Darren Till and Bilal Muhammad saying that he's terrible and asking a question that I think is a fair question. Just when you look at his form and his technique, it looks very atypical. But obviously, objectively, DDP is a phenomenal fighter. He's achieved insane results. He's beaten the best of the best in the middleweight division. DDP is a legend. But that's not why I think Khamzat will beat him in spite of that, because Khamzat is just that good. Khamzat's like Superman to me. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I think. Okay. Barat says, but in the end, who knows? Exactly. That's why this fight is amazing. Same with Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. Who knows? I want to know. I mean, actually, I didn't want to know before. Now I want to know. I actually want to see John Jones walk away into the sunset as just a pure legend, but now I'm really curious. Justin getting paid leave on getting laid, leave alone. It could be. Okay. And then Western Justin taking his first. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, give us some donos. We'll give him that paid vacation. Let's go. Okay, let's go to the final topic. Well, this one is one that, anyways, is a good topic to end on. Speaking of Justin not being here, because this is more like the stuff that I follow more than Justin. What do you guys make of this? This is crazy. KSI, and look, I'm not going to get on KSI's case because I probably would have pulled out, right, for less. So I can't. I really want to know Justin's opinion, though, just on the fact of like he's pulling out for a bad illness. I'm sure Justin would have never, ever pulled out for an illness. But I guess KSI said he's been sick for 3 weeks. It's just getting worse and worse. He's having trouble breathing. He's in a lot of pain. And finally, he had to postpone the event, which is crazy. It is kind of crazy because everybody's fights got postponed. Like, it's not just like he pulled out and they found a replacement. I mean, it's his event, so he can do what he wants, I guess. But he pulled out and just scrapped the whole event. When are they going to reschedule it? All these guys who are waiting for paydays now have to wait. They have to move around their I mean, it's everybody who planned to go. I mean, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And what makes it worse is that KSI was giving Dylan so much flack for pulling out of their first fight. And then he does this, like, and it's way worse because at least when Dylan pulled out, KSI could find a replacement and this and that, and the event went on. Here, KSI scrapping the whole of, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. On top of it, Dylan has an MMA fight in May against Tony Ferguson. So what does this mean? When are they going to reschedule this bout? Yeah, I just want to get your guys' thoughts because I thought this was big news, even though it's not MMA, it's influencer boxing. Hey, Andrew Nance gives what's it called? Gave a donation. Thank you, Andrew. He says, great show, bro. Let's go. Justin, you're getting half of that. That's your paid leave, dog, right there. Excuse me. Brat said, I look forward if Hamzat can ragdoll DDP like others in the first round. It may not, but it may. I don't know. It's so crazy. It's so crazy because DDP is super strong. Okay, but anyways, going back to this KSI thing, yeah, like it's a pretty big deal to pull out, and not only just pull out, but pull the rug on the entire event. So I guess we'll see what happens. I was kind of getting excited for this fight. I was going to watch it for sure this weekend, but I guess it is no more. So we shall see. Let's see what happens. I can't wait for Dylan to hear from Dylan Dennis. I thought he was going to be on Ariel's show for sure today, but he wasn't. So I guess we'll have to wait maybe till Wednesday or tomorrow for that interview, but I hope he's on there soon. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you like all the topics we discussed today? Let me know what you want if you're watching this after the fact for Kevin Holland next. I think that's very, very interesting. Very, very cool outcome from this UFC London fight card. And as people mentioned, we are so excited for Patty versus Chandler. We're finally going to see if Patty's got what it takes to break into the top 10, to the top 5, to get a title shot. And who knows, we might be seeing Patty versus Ilya soon as a main event title shot. That's it, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining. Andrew, once again, thank you for the dono. We really appreciate it. And we will see you guys in the next episode on Friday. But we got videos coming out every day, so to make sure to subscribe, click the notifications bell, and we will be back. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next episode. Take it easy.